Hello, buddy. Omni here. Sorry, it's been a little bit of a slow spell here for a little bit. Kind of be the recurring theme. If it's not one thing, it's another. I just finally finished up my platinum run on Kingdom Hearts 3. So, with that out of the way, I should have a lot more free time to work up for videos and stuff like that. I do have a couple of ideas I'm kind of trudging around in my head to keep things kind of flowing when there's a dry spell in the media, at least. But I wanted to talk about, I cover this a little bit in the recent trailer for Doom Patrol, and I wanted to, I'll let it fester for the first two episodes to give it a fair first impression. And um, I love this show so far. I am not even gonna lie. If you watched my previous video, you probably got a taste for my feel over Titans. Not a huge fan. There's a lot of things they did well, but as a whole, I felt like the entire season was really inconsistent, not very faithful or true to the characters themselves, overly dark and unnecessarily dark. Like if this is supposed to be some alternate Earth, which, with DC, it very well might be, but with them trying to kind of market it as the Titans themselves, it just gives me a little feel because I have to compare it to the originals, and like Nightwing is borderline unlikable in every respect, and he's one of my favorite DC characters in the comics. So there's so much going on there. I feel like the best episodes in that show were the episodes that didn't focus on the primary team, like the characters I'm a little less familiar with. I loved all the episodes that featured heavily Hawk and Dove. I loved when Wonder Girl showed up. And of course, the standout episode of the season was the Doom Patrol episode to me. That was my favorite episode of the season. It was a lot of fun. And so I kind of was hoping we get a similar tone going into the show. And lo and behold, we do. It is very consistently entertaining. I think the visuals are outstanding. The sound design, the music, the scores, the openings really interesting, and the characters themselves are extremely likable. Like even Crazy Jane. They all have some they all have drastically different backstories. I'm not going to go into any of them because I'd like for you guys to actually check this out. I actually recommend this so far. The first two episodes has been really great. It's very There's a meta level to it. That's really entertaining. I don't know how accurate the Mr. Nobody stuff is compared to the comics. It seems to be a little fourth wall breaky, which I don't know if that's how he was in the comics, but it works really well in the way this is being presented so far, and I really like it. Once Cyborg shows up, I was a little iffy on that character in general in live action, but they're doing pretty much all of his stuff with practical effects, aside from like his abilities and some weird stuff that comes out. But this is easily the best live action Cyborg that we've got. All these characters so far are very fleshed out for the most part, and I've checked in, refreshed myself on some of their hit comic origins, and so far it's pretty spot on. Like it is almost dead accurate, the origin story straight from the comic book. And I'm curious to see how this is going to play out through the entire season. I'm actually really excited for this. Um, for everybody outside the US, as far as I know, this should be on Netflix, I believe. Um, for us in the States, though, however, it is limited to the DC Universe app, and that is unfortunately a downside, especially since they don't release them all at once. So you can't free trial it, binge it, and then dip. They release them weekly. It's they're trapped to get you locked in if you do end up liking any of the shows, but they're surprisingly a lot of decent DC content on there. So that's up to you if you want to commit to that or not. My best suggestion, since I don't know when the next show is coming out, but I would wait for this to actually complete, much like with Titans, and then probably just, if you want to, free trial it once the entire season's out, and then you can just watch it straight. That'll be a few weeks from now with the running from, if Titans is any evidence of that. So I'm not sure what the release date for the final episode of this is going to be, but I'm actually on board with this ride. I like everything that has been presented to me about this, the tone of the show, the pacing of the show, the style of the show. I like all these characters. Brendan Fraser voicing Cliff is just awesome, and we even get to see Brendan Fraser a couple times. And this is not a kid show. This goes balls hard. If you thought the brutality in Titans was anything crazy, then you're going to be a little shocked with what comes out with this one. There's some pretty grotesque scenes, and right out of the gate in the first episode, there's some activities happening. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I recommend it so far, and I'm gonna try to keep up with it on Stardust. If you guys want to follow it there, I'll be giving shorter reactions to each episode as it unfolds. And yeah, maybe I'll do a review of it at the end once it's all wrapped up and finished. I don't know if I'll go back and do something for Titans. I might have to rewatch it to give a better opinion about it again, because I've forgotten most of it. Just nothing in Titans really stuck in the brain and left much of an impression except how unlikable it was. I heard they might be doing like a Hawk and Dove spinoff, and I think that would be interesting. I'd be down to watch that. Um, Aside from that, I think the only other thing I know that they're working on is the Harley Quinn show. I can't remember if that's supposed to be a live action show as like the rest of these, or if it's going to be animated. I can't remember. I still need to finish Young Justice. I'm not caught up on that either. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my first impressions for Doom Patrol, and I'm just going to go ahead and recommend it. But yeah, that's it. Sorry again about the dry spell. But if you want to keep up with everything else I'm doing, you can always follow me on Twitch. I'm just trying to get through Resident Evil 2 now. Uh, Almost finished with that run. Not sure what I'm going to be doing after that though. Um, of course, as always, my social media stuff and all my other links are in the description below. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care.